Alam natin no na dito rin sa Senate ngayon may isa pang importanteng hearing na nangyayari. And my staff actually looked at the 15 flood control projects na pinag-uusapan dun sa isang hearing at nakita po namin na lahat ng mga projects nila nagkakataon ay dun sa mga area na may fat dynasties. Hindi lang dynasty o thin dynasty, fat dynasty. So, tanungin po natin din ang NAMFREL at saka yung Lente. Sino po magsasalita for NAMFREL? Yes, sir, Mr. Alvia.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Opo. Pwede po ba kayong mag-cite ng mga specific examples o mga pag-aaral na kinakabit yung presence ng fat dynasties or kahit obese dynasties sa higher levels at incidents ng corruption, lalo na procurement-related corruption? At kung mayroon, paano po nangyayari yung prosesong ito?
Okay. Maganda po yung nabanggit ninyo dahil ito po yung epekto ng nakikita nating implications no ng dynasty. Mahalaga yung nasabi ho ni uh, Attorney Monsod no yung social justice impact no ng kahalagahan ng pag-i-implement ng isang anti-political dynasty provision, pero sa medyo prescient sila at may foresight no kung anong mangyayari kung walang uh, provision no sa ating batas no regarding the anti-political dynasty concern. Yung implications po nito nakita natin no marami mga pag-aaral or research work no na nangyari na in-examine nga yung impact ng political dynasties, tapos yung mga findings ito nag-indicate ng negative consequences no for development and governance no. Unang-una dito yung studies na nakikita natin sa mga nakaraang dekada as early as 2000s ay na nagsasabi na yung political families maintain power through strategic deployment of family members and how this concentration of power can lead to poorer development outcomes, increased criminality, and lower quality of governance no. Yung mga studies na to ay nagko-contribute din no sa pananaw natin na medyo complex no yung issue no. Tapos yung karamihan ng mga benepisyo nakikita natin locally, but again overall yung development ng bansa natin ay naapektuhan no. Unang-una dito no yung siguro yung mga pag-aaral na nakita natin na siguro yung seminal studies o yung mas maagang mga pag-aaral ay yung kay Professor Mendoza, Political Dynasties and Poverty Measurement and Evidence of Linkages in the Philippines. No, ginawa niya to noong 2016. Yung pag-aaral nito explores the connection between political dynasties and poverty, finding that evidence that dynasties exacerbate poverty in provinces outside of Luzon. Yung pangalawang pag-aaral namin na nakita, pinaka-recent, no, 2022, Political Dynasties, Business and Poverty, no. Ito rin pag-aaral to ni Professor Mendoza, pero ginawa niya to nung nasa Ateneo na siya. It investigates how political dynasties influence socio-economic outcomes, particularly poverty, and it suggests that while dynasties might increase resource flows to their jurisdiction through government spending, these outcomes at the cost of overall economic development and good governance. Yung isang pag-aaral naman na nakita namin, no, gawa naman to ng Lasal, no, si Labon, no, Term Limits and Political Dynasties. Yung pag-aaral naman nito examines the effectiveness of term limits in addressing political dynasties. No, it finds that term limits alone are insufficient to curb dynastic power, and as families often find ways to circumvent through strategic deployment of family members. Kaya nakikita natin, tama ho yung sinabi ninyo na dun sa local, no, marami talaga mga dynasties dahil it creates an environment of, I would say, political and economic capture. So sila-sila.
It's an
no?
ecosystem.
Yes, that's correct. No? Yung meron isang pag-aaral, no, gawa ito ng isang Pilipino rin pero sa SMU, sa Singapore Management University, it focuses on the impact of horizontal dynasties o sinasabi nilang fat dynasties, no? Where family members would hold multiple positions simultaneously. It also explores how these dynasties influence policy and development outcomes at the local levels, no? So makikita natin no, maraming mga pag-aaralan no dun sa implications ng kasamaan ng kawalan ng political dynasties. Yung pinakahuli yung ito kasama ko ngayon dito si Professor Hamoy, no, ginawang pag-aaral niya sa University of Asia in the Pacific, no. Bakit ambivalent, no, yung mga Pilipino sa pagtrato natin ng dynasties? Bakit alam natin na may kasamaan na dinudulot yung political dynasties, yet we still embrace them, and in fact we vote them to office, no? Bakit, no? So ito yung ambivalence, no, in dealing, no, or in facing, no, dynasties. Totoo, no, may sinasabing kanina na may mga magagandang nadudulot, no, yung mga dynasties, but yung net effect, no, ay nakakasama para sa bansa natin. Siguro yun, si Professor Hamoy later on can share, no, kung bakit ganun yung attitude natin, bakit ganun yung voting behavior towards dynasties, no? Maraming salamat po.
Salamat, Mr. Alvia. Anything in particular about the link between dynasties and corruption? Or would Professor Hamoy address that point as well?
Yung napansin namin, because we have been monitoring the procurement, no, of local and national agencies, no. Nakita namin na marami dun sa kunyari mga bidder, no, magkakamag-anak, no. Maraming kuminsan heads of, or at least key influential people in the agencies are related to the bidders. So, they share the information, no? Medyo asymmetric, no? They share the information amongst themselves, no? To gain advantage, no?
So some kind of insider trading,
Yes,
which
may
may be
collusion
collusion, which may be what my staff found nga on researching on those 15
That's true.
flood control projects. So hindi lahat, pero karamihan, so majority ng lugar kung saan yung mga proyektong yun ay may, no? So it's not, we're not saying that there's causality, but there's
That's
that
true.
Coincidence. But very notable coincidence, may fat dynasty. And several of these are not just fat, they're obese dynasties.
Kaya mahalaga po yung nabanggit kanina ni Chairman Garcia, yung definition talaga ng levels of consanguinity, dahil nakikita natin yung for instance yung paano kung kunyari common law, no, relationships, no, how do you deal them? Paano yung mga kabit, no? Paano yung mga anak nun?
Okay na yung common law na term. Thank you, Mr. Alvia. Before I go on to Lente and our other civil society resource persons, I think Senator Amy has an interjection.
Yeah, pwede lang mag-comment. Eto nga, hindi ako nandito para maging apologist, para sa dynasty. Pagod na kami sa politika. Sa totoo lang, tuwing eleksyon, nagkakapilitan sa pamilya kung sinong tatakbo at talagang wala nang may gusto. But I appreciate your observation that in fact Filipinos are ambivalent about this notion of dynasties, and it's probably a reflection of a failure of government and the delivery of goods and services and the abject poverty in which many of our people live. But I'd like to shed the light on a certain province, for example, like Bataan. Sabihin na ng fat dynasty, sabihin na nating thin dynasty, nobody can argue that the development in Bataan through the Garcia family has been stunning and really incomparable to any other province. At siguro, kaya hindi nabebenta itong anti-dynasty, dahil sa mga lalawigan katulad ng Bataan, kung saan makikita yung wealth creation dun sa 4 na eco zones, the very aggressive job generation efforts of the entire family, and the really quite stunning development of the entire area, soon to be doubled or perhaps tripled by the Cavite-Bataan Bridge. So I think this is really the problem. There seems to be a sense sa Pilipinas, kaya nga nagkakaroon ng ambivalence na may kakilala ka, kilala mo na yung pamilya mo, kumbaga naging suki mo na, patronage na ulit. Yung sinasabi niyong capture, patronage yun kasi naging suki na ng pamilya nyo, yung pamilya nila, isa yung tatakbuhan, samantalang kapag yung bureaucracy ang tatakbuhan mo, wala kang mapapalaw, hindi mo naman kilala. So, nais ko lang ipakita yung Bataan andyan. Siyempre, bibidahin ko rin yung Ilocos Norte. We have the lowest poverty rate. We have no eco zone. We have no free port. We are miles and miles away from Metro Manila. Ganon din ang Cebu. Ganon din ang Davao City. Paano kukumbinsihin yung mga tao doon na masama yung dinastiya kapag yung delivery, di hamak na mas maayos kesa sa opisyal na pamahalaan. Yun lang ang comment ko po.
Salamat, Senator Amy. At sa very helpful comment mo, naisip ko nga yung ibang mga bansa na sinasabing sila rin naman may dynasties. Pero yung isang malaking kaibahan daw sa kanila ay malalakas yung mga institusyon nila. So there are dynasties also among the general population. Pero yung mga institusyon allow that level, may meritocracy, kumbaga. So in a way nare-reward or napapanatili yung maaring ituring na dynasties, but for those na hindi talaga deserve, may check and balance, may fiscalizing at mas may equalizing, mas yung sinasabi ni Attorney Monsod, mas may social justice aspect sa pagiging mas egalitarian naman ang politika para sa lahat, lalo na sa mga non-dynasts. So I'd like to continue with the civil society resource persons, including Lente. Pasensya na sa reference dun sa isa pang hearing, but I think it's also instructive for us dito sa pagtalakay natin sa mga anti-political dynasty bills sa committee ito. Maliban po sa mga flood control projects, saan pang mga aspeto nakikita yung corruption? Halimbawa, extractive industries, social services even. Attorney Caritos?
Magandang umaga po, Chair. Siguro po kitang-kita po siya sa delivery ng social welfare programs and the extractive industries. Marami na pong pag-aaral na lumabas on the link between corruption and political dynasty. At ang lagi naman pong conclusion dyan, kaya nagkakaroon ng corruption kasi walang check and balance. Kung ang mayor ay tatay ng vice mayor na nag-a-approve ng budget, wala po talagang makakapag-check niyan or wala maglalakas ng loob to monitor. So basically, that's our problem with political dynasty, especially the obese ones, kasi wala na pong check and balance at the local level. Gusto ko lang pong dagdagan or mag-comment doon sa point na tanggap ba ng mga Pilipino ang political dynasties?
Are we ambivalent?
Yes. Hindi po, Chair, Kasi if you take a look at the data for unopposed possessions at the local level, 2019 po, 500 positions were unopposed at the local level. 2022, 800 local positions were unopposed. 2025, it's at 1,068. Ibig sabihin po, hindi sa walang pakialam or ambivalent ang mga Pilipino, wala na lang po talaga ding tumatakbo at the local levels. And data would tell us that na pataas ng pataas ang unopposed positions at the local levels because people are really afraid or just iniisip nila ay wala naman ibang makakatakbo, makakalaban sa mga sorba mayayamang pamilya. Second point po, Chair, just to, as we move forward with fine-tuning the definition of the political dynasty if up to the second degree of consanguinity or affinity, what we found out based from our consultations and discussions with our youth organizations, yung pong loophole or yung tinitake advantage or strategy po, yung incumbent nagre-resign. So yung anti-dynasty na prohibition na related kasi incumbent, hindi na po nagkikick in. So baka po kailangan i-consider po natin yon dun sa ating pag-redefine ng anti-dynasty law. Kasi tinitake advantage po yung incumbent, hindi magre-resign na lang. So yun po, Chair. Magandang umaga po ulit.
Magandang umaga at salamat. But maybe a little bit more about paano nakikita yung corruption sa delivery ng mga social protection programs and maybe even on the extractive industries.
Siguro po, from our monitoring of ASR, abuse of state resources during the campaign period, what we saw was yung pong mga hindi supporters ni incumbent, hindi po supporters nung sinusuportahan ni incumbent, they removed from the list of the social welfare programs delivered or implemented, especially by the local government units. So dyan po namin nakita, and we did 3 monitoring na po ng ASR in the elections, and we saw firsthand yung mga scholars po biglang natatanggalan ng scholarship just because hindi sila scholar na dahil natanggal na sa pwesto yung incumbent or hindi po nanalo. So we saw firsthand how the social welfare programs are really being abused especially by the incumbent kasi sila naman po yung may access dyan, sila yung may control chair when it comes to, of course, securing their win in the election. And we can provide the committee with a copy of our monitoring reports for the past 3 elections on the problem of ASR in our elections.
Yes, please do that through our COMSEC para makarating sa amin sa komite, no, through our chair, Senator Ping. Mas mababawasan po ba yung checks and balances kung yung pamilya, kung yung dynasty, halimbawa, parehong nasa Kongreso at sa LGU pa? Is that a potent combination?
Ako po, tumitingnan na po ako dun sa system of government natin. It's legislative, executive, judiciary. We have 3 branches of government. It was designed that way by our framers of the Constitution to have checks and balance. So if we have relatives belonging to two branches of the government, then the check and balance in place by our framers of the Constitution, yan po yung nawawala dyan, Senator Risa, Chair.